For all of those who are just joining, welcome. My name is Amy Krupel, and I'm the director of UF Center for European Studies. Our center is a Department of Education Title VI National Resource Center, as well as a Jean Monnet Center of Excellence. We are multidisciplinary and focus on area and language studies, and we are housed in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at the University of Florida. A few housekeeping notes before we begin. The discussion today will be recorded and eventually available on the CES website and YouTube channel. We will have a Q&A session following the presentation. We ask that participants submit questions through the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen rather than through the chat window. This helps us to manage questions better. So thank you again for joining us today. We are here to discuss representing the past through comics language, a historical sociological analysis. And this talk and the series that it is part of are supported by the Title VI Center. This is the final talk of our European Studies Because series, drawing on the past, superheroes, comics, and propaganda. The European Studies Because series tries to look at non-traditional approaches to the study of Europe. If you'd like to see the recordings for the two previous talks, please visit our website, ces.ufl.edu. We're very pleased to welcome today our speaker, Dr. Barbara Grunig, who is an associate professor of sociology of culture and communications at Università degli Studi di Milano, Bicocca. Dr. Grunig has published many articles and book chapters, including Doing Social Sciences via Comics and Graphic Novels and Instruction, and Educating to Remember the Public Use of Comics in Germany and Italy, which is what she'll be speaking on today. We are very happy to once again welcome our erstwhile moderator, Dr. Anastasia Ulanovich, who is from UF. She is the Director of Graduate Student Teaching and General Education, as well as an Associate Professor in the UF Department of English. Her research is primarily focused on the representation of intergenerational relationships and memory in children's literature and graphic narratives. As a reminder, we ask that all participants complete the survey to which you will be automatically brought when you exit this talk. We appreciate any feedback you can provide for us. And with that, I want to hand the discussion over to Dr. Grunig.
Thanks. And well, my focus is on two countries, on the representation of difficult parts in two countries, Germany and Italy. There is a biographical reason because I am German and Italy, so that it is for me easier to focus on these countries, and also because of language. But there is also, as we have seen, parallelism between these two paths, and so there is also a reason of the interest in comparing these two development of comic production on paths in these two countries. And I will focus on the period, on the time span from the 1950s to nowadays. And which is the topic, which is my thesis in some way, my question, my research question. It is to see over time change the position, the production of comics on the past, on the Italian and German past, and also the position of comics within the intellectual field. Questioning on the one hand, which was the state, which is the state memory politics on this difficult past of the two states, and how the state tried also through this memory politics to build a national cultural identity on the one hand, and on the second hand is also try to understand to what extent this difficult past, the difficult past of the two national states in some ways are still relevant in the social, political, and obviously memory politics, national politics. What I mean then with understanding difficult paths, on one hand, the fact that these paths are still contested, are still dividing the societies of the two countries. For example, if we think on the Germany, the GDR past is still contended between East German citizens and West German citizens. And on the other hand, there are difficult paths because they question the role of the state and its use of violence and legitimacies of using violence, not only during dictatorships, as during National Socialism or within the GDR state or in fascism, but also in democratic societies. Then why I speak of past, as I divided so past, for Italy, I consider of the comics talk about fascism and World War II on the one hand, and on the other hand, the recent history of Italy, which includes more past, even if they are interrelated. The period from the end of the 60s to the 80s that is called, this defined by strategy of tension and include massacres and of both Black and Red brigades, mafia massacres or murders, and also we will see other episodes of state violence that occurs especially in the last 20 years. For Germany, I consider National Socialism and the GDR stage. It's also interesting that I didn't find no comics regarding the terrorism during the 70s, the end of the 60s and the 70s in the German stage.